doing business. A network and public news service. Find our trust indicators to support transparency and accuracy at publicnewsservice.org.
And there we go. Good morning. It's KCHW 102.7. Starting our morning show off on a Wednesday, a few minutes late because we're trying something new for big Mr. Mike Bentz,
that's right,
who is live in the KCHW studios along with Michelle Williams. Good morning, guys, all the way from Maine.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is so much nicer because, you know, last week when we were live, you were like 8 or 10 seconds delayed on my screen.
So now you can see it real time.
Well,
I can make faces at you,
that's right.
do
Well,
hand gestures.
And I'd start talking, and it was like my words are coming out of your mouth. Although it wasn't delayed, I guess Loretta said it sounded fine on the radio. It was just maybe a screen
it's
delay
just
or
because
something.
you were watching off of the website, and actually on the website, on Facebook, on YouTube, it's all about 15 seconds late. On the radio, what people hear in business and stuff is more like 20 seconds delayed in case we have a naughty word sometime. So we always run a delay there too. But for the video feed, you are watching now in real time, and that was kind of a hassle this morning for us to figure out, but we did it. And so now it's not like you're watching a Japanese,
Right,
movie.
exactly.
My lips are actually matched, right?
Like the soundtrack's off or something, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in this morning. If you're on the radio with us, or if you went on one of our video platforms or the website, thanks for joining us for the morning show. Mike, look at Michelle doing like karate gestures there.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm thinking,
Wow.
hey, I'm going to have to build a cage around me.
All right. We need a feel-good moment before we do a few news headlines. So,
Uh-oh.
All right. I just, you guys probably just lost my video.
Yeah.
I'll work on getting that back. But
That happened. Well, I mean, we didn't lose you completely. You're just frozen.
I'm just frozen?
in time.
You're frozen.
Yes.
I totally crashed on my end.
Are you still logged in to everything?
I am still, you can hear me. So
Right.
we're broadcasting.
Well,
so
I
you
meant-
guys just can't see me.
Yeah. Well,
right.
he's just doing an online audition for the Frozen play at Chihuahua,
Right.
So he's showing.
Well, as I wait and try to get this fired back up, real quick, you guys, there was a couple as I usually roll out weather first. You've got actually 2 warnings for today. First one, the flood watch continues until 8 p.m. tonight. Flash flooding for the affected areas of northeastern Washington, including Ferry and Stevens County. It's just us this morning. All right. It'll go till 8 o'clock tonight. That's about all the information we have on that. Let's see. Impacts. Excessive runoff may result in flooding of rivers, creeks, streams, and other low-lying flood-prone locations. Have you guys seen any of that happening in the area or heard about it?
No.
Because we had the warning yesterday, too.
Yeah,
No.
we've had several of these warnings.
Yeah. Well, we're still in that, Nirvana type part of northeastern Washington. The storms go around us.
Well, not so much for me.
Oh, yeah. She's down in Antarctica or somewhere.
Yeah.
But,
Also known as Loon Lake.
Yes.
But, yeah, no, it was sprinkling a little bit when I came in this morning, but, no downpour.
Now, the highway looked pretty wet. Oh, goodness. The highway looked...
Ooh, I like that sound effect.
Practicing his karate moves. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the highway
All right,
was
your
pretty wet
second
on my way
warning.
in.
Go ahead, Michelle. I'm sorry.
That's all right. The highway was really wet on the way in between, Solicar and town. So I know that it did get some rain, but I didn't have any rain at my house yet, so I'm surprised. It usually hits me first.
You have, of course, an air quality alert that's been issued for several counties, including ours, Washington Department of Ecology, Spokane Washington Department of Ecology and Yakima, the Colville Federated Tribes, Indian Community Spokane Regional Clean Air Agency, all saying you've got really, really bad air to breathe. Quality alert to wildfire smoke until 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Until 1 p.m. And then it's supposed to lighten up a little today.
Well,
I
the rain
guess.
will take care of that. I mean, so that's the nice thing about it. We'll get dirty rain.
Right.
Heavy
I
rain.
think the
Now, here's the sad part for you. You've only got a 32% chance of rain. Not everybody in the county is going to see that rain, so it might not have the cleansing effect that you hope for. Some clouds, possible isolated thunderstorms. We don't need that lightning for sure. Storms may contain also strong gusty winds, which is really rough for the firefighters. Your high today just expected to be around 71, so you got a nice cool one. 50 tonight under mainly clear skies. Now tomorrow you've got 77 and 49, partly cloudy, just a 7% chance of rain. Friday 73 and 44, and a 15% chance of rain under partly cloudy skies. Weekend right now mostly cloudy, 67 Saturday, 69 Sunday. Welcome to fall.
Yeah. Well, I noticed at least where I live, the leaves are starting to fall. So, it's time.
It's time.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm looking for some cool photographs I can see in the backyard. I'm starting to see the red leaves.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
I know.
It's kind of funny, like even being up on top of the mountain, everything is still really, really green for me. Really green. I even have flowers that are still blooming. My peppers just went into bloom again, which is odd.
Yeah.
Awfully late in the season for them to be trying to bloom.
They're not going to have enough time to.
No, they're not going to have enough time to do anything. But
yeah.
I just thought it was strange. I'd never seen them bloom that late in the season before.
All right. For those of you worried about Mooch, there she is on the camera, recovering nicely from her radiation therapy. She's gained a pound. So there, look at that. Does that make you relax?
I'm waiting for her to grow like 10 times her normal size.
That's what I was hoping.
Walk around packing you in her mouth like a little squeaky toy.
Exactly.
Eating small people and small animals.
That's right. Yeah, and have
Yeah.
laser vision, just.
You got to get the Godzilla or Mothra sound effect for her, so the next time you put her on there, we could blow her up.
I've got that too.
Yes,
That is a
I knew
definite
you would.
possibility.
I knew you would.
All right. Yesterday, I had in news headlines, we had a story about Russians mysteriously dying, oligarchs. And today, a list of that list is going to continue to grow. A group of St. Petersburg local politicians called for President Vladimir Putin to be sacked over the war in Ukraine. They all face likely dissolution of their district council following a judge's ruling on Tuesday. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the names. The judge decided that a series of past council meetings are now invalid, paving the way for it to be broken up by a regional governor. Another council member said the same court then fined him 47,000 rubles.
About 20 cents.
You want to know what that equals?
No.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
$780. 47,000 rubles. All right. He was fined that for discrediting authorities by calling for Putin's removal. A whole bunch of people have done this. So things are heating up in Russia for Putin. Four more members of the local council in St. Petersburg are due to appear in court in the next few days. Last week, a group of deputies from the council appealed to the State Duma to bring charges of state treason against Putin and strip him of power, citing a series of reasons, including Russia's military losses in Ukraine and the damage to its economy from Western sanctions. Another local deputy said 65 municipal representatives from St. Petersburg, Moscow, and several other regions had signed a petition on Monday calling for Putin's resignation. They're really putting their lives in danger by doing that, but it's a good sign.
Yeah, well, it is in one sense. The other sense is, you kind of wonder who's going to replace him.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, what are the Ivans really doing?
That's right. Yeah. One level of derangement for another.
Like the fear people have here in the United States if something should happen to Joe Biden.
Oh, the only saving grace right now is that he's saving us from Kamala.
Yes.
That woman has the IQ of a fudgesicle.
I knew that would get a response.
That's right. Exactly.
All right. Here's something. I know I had a lot of personal confusion over the SBA and the EDIL loans. U.S. government is racing as the U.S. government raced to shore up small business finances at the height of the pandemic. It may have erroneously awarded more than $1.3 billion to foreign applicants, raising new suspicions that the program might have helped fund overseas crime syndicates. Oh, man. Let's see. Top watchdog for the Small Business Administration reported its findings on Monday, saying the spending posed a significant risk of potential fraud. In doing so, the watchdog underscored the agency's persistent, costly, and well-documented struggles to ensure its vast array of coronavirus aid benefited the cash-strapped firms that it needed the most. The trouble concerning the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, or as a lot of us know it as EIDL, an initiative dating to the Trump administration that provided grants and other financial support to struggling small companies. More than 27.8 million applicants ultimately sought funds from the SBA, overwhelming the agency that had been tasked to oversee a vast array of emergency spending that dwarfed its annual budget. Congress required the SBA to disperse its EIDL aid only to those businesses affected by the pandemic and located in the United States or its territories. But a crush of applicants from foreign sources still flooded the agency over the life of the program, and the SBA repeatedly appeared to fund them anyway.
Yep. Well, that doesn't really surprise you because, it's kind of like dumping a whole bunch of water in a small funnel. And then they, and you've only got a limited number of people, then that didn't change to process it, and I know that the stuff I did at the golf course went through relatively well, but I can't, but still the paperwork was I think really overwhelming. You had to stay on top of it. And in this case, the lender that we used was really good about helping you get through it and then made sure all the T's were crossed and the I's were dotted before it was submitted and, things like that. And on the other hand, I think Alyssa up there did a great job on making sure the data was available and immediately and, so there wasn't any time lag when additional requests were made, things like that. But and frankly, as long as you got a tax ID number,
they were giving you money.
They were giving you money, basically, yeah. So
yeah, that's kind of frustrating though, because like my personal business was impacted really, really a lot by the pandemic in the entertainment district and music and all of that live entertainment, and I didn't have the length of time for my business to generate the kind of revenue that made it eligible, but they're sending it out of the country. That's kind of frustrating. Yeah, really kind of frustrating.
We had the same problem with the Creative District, of course, because it was formed right at the beginning of the pandemic, and so none of that funding was available for the Creative District because they didn't have the amount of length of time. But on the other hand, you always kind of look at the positive note. It just forced you to look at different avenues to try to do things, and so you get better at, applying for grants and which you wouldn't even have thought of beforehand. And then what I'm discovering on the grant side, there's a pile of money out there that never gets claimed. And part of it is people don't know it exists.
Right.
Right. And
our problem, go ahead.
And I was at a meeting with Ted yesterday on the rural tourism initiatives, and one of the comments came up about a pretty good size grant that's sitting there that nobody's ever applied for. And so I'm thinking, well, how come nobody's applied for it in Northeast Washington, which is, Ferry County and Stevens County and Pend Oreille counties? Because I think personally people weren't aware, or they were aware and got in there, and the paperwork is so overwhelming. They say, "Oh, to heck with it," that type of thing. So
the last one we just applied for a few days ago was the toughest one yet. So they have tried to tighten up things as far as that process so that people fakes aren't getting through,
right,
is what I'd say. But we were able to apply for another one. Our problem has really been, and I know other businesses in the Chihuahua area have complained about this, our problem in dealing with the SBA loan is strictly the local post office policy of not allowing businesses in the downtown area to receive mail at their location, forcing businesses to have a very expensive, especially for a nonprofit, I think, for a post office box. And that has cost us problems several times. And this latest one is they gave us the EIDL loan when we asked for it, but for trying to repay it to them, they're really upset that we don't have a physical address. And we keep getting like nasty emails saying, we've mailed you something and it came back, like they think we're a fake. And I have 3 times now tried to explain to the Small Business Administration that in the city of Chihuahua, you cannot have physical mail delivered to your location in the downtown area. And they're just finding that unacceptable, and they can't seem to get it through their head that they have to use a P.O. box to deal with us. And in fact, it's gotten so bad, we have never received any documentation or paperwork on that loan.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I find out on some of the grant applications, they don't give you the option of a physical address and a mailing address. And actually, so what do you put on there? I mean, in our case, we have a physical address, but it's really not worth anything as far as any of that stuff goes.
Exactly.
And
just for people to find you.
Yeah, just people to find us. And so I tried to explain that to the state the other day, and same thing you did. I said, no, wait a minute. And it's kind of like, what do you mean they don't deliver mail? Well, they don't. That's the way it is.
It's caused problems that policy has caused problems for more than once. And I know other businesses in the downtown area have been unhappy with it. And I think it's something for businesses to conduct business. It needs to change, especially in this environment. That's part of their process to find out if it is a fake.
Right.
That physical address. They don't want to send you the documents, checks, or anything like that to a post office box because it's too easy to defraud it, the system.
Well, and then on top of that, like the Crave District has a personal mailbox and doesn't have a post office box. So it's PMB 123. And people, what's a PMB? Well, it's a personal mailbox. They've been around forever. Well, I'm not sure about that. I still need a physical address. So
I love I love our local post office and the people that have worked there. They provide a great service and they're all friendly. It is a policy problem, and that policy I think needs to change in the city of Chihuahua.
Yeah.
So is it just a thing of not cluttering the street down Main Street?
I think it's a manpower issue.
Oh,
yeah, they're going to have to put someone, on their feet walking downtown to put those that mail in the mailboxes. But it happens everywhere else on the planet.
Right. I was gonna say if it's a location issue of being like an aesthetic for being up and down Main Street on the front side, why don't they put in like a group of mailboxes like they have in apartment buildings? The mailboxes, like the big box of them, on the back side of the street in the alley, and then they could just drive through and put the mail in.
How much difference is that in a P.O. box, though?
It'd be the same thing.
Well,
that's the problem.
Yeah.
No, and you're right. Not to fault the local post offices. I'm sure it's a policy decision, and it's a funding decision. I know that right now, because I'm on a rural route where they deliver it, and they consistently struggle with people to run those rural routes. And so my hat's off to them. It's not an easy job.
It's a policy, I'm sure, that was put down to them. So the only way to get around this is if local downtown businesses get together and complain. I think would be the only way to get to the higher ups in the postal for this regional area to look at that situation and the potential problems that they cause businesses with that policy.
Right. So part of the downtown strategic plan or whatever has the 5 pillars, and one of them is administration and policy. So maybe we could just find out. I think Greg is actually the person
in charge
heading
of
that one. So maybe we just find out when our next strategic meeting is going to be and bring that up as an issue.
Yep. I had heard rumors that there was a group of people that were planning to do a petition or something. So I hope that follows through and they can if they need more people to sign it, ask the radio station to do it. We'll do it too.
Right.
So.
Yeah. But
I'll sign it KCHW.
All right, enough. And like I said, I love the locals. All right, just a policy we have an issue with.
Right.
All right, now gas prices, real quick, steadily falling. 13 straight weeks now. They're saying by Christmas, $2.99 a gallon.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. What's happening here the 1st of January. We have a gas tax coming in.
Oh, of course
that's 49 cents a gallon on top of the 46 cents a gallon we're currently paying.
Oh, of course.
So we'll have the distinction as of January 1st of having the highest gas tax in the nation.
And the most out of control governor ever.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but what is this tax supposed to fund? Are they going to dump pennies in the potholes to fill them? Because they could afford to do that at that point.
wish they, if they need to raise taxes, they should be taking it out of the sin stuff, alcohol,
Right.
marijuana.
Right.
They should go after that instead of something that directly impacts
Everyone.
people's lives in a crucial way, and that is how they get to work,
in my
how they
mind,
get to the
anyway,
stores.
It's a regressive tax because it proportionally affects people of lower income levels
Right.
than it does people of higher income levels.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it doesn't sound like that much until you start looking at, if it takes that much more out of my budget. And frankly, especially in the rural environments, you're really dependent upon the ability to use some kind of a transportation where you have to
Is
put
that
something in
is
it
that 49 cents per gallon?
per gallon.
What?
Yeah.
What? And
That
then
needs to be repealed really bad. We
that's-
can't.
Well,
we can't
there's a
handle
movement
that right
afoot
now.
as people are
That is
starting to learn about
terrible.
it. Yeah.
I like right in the okay. So let's see, wintertime. Already driving through the slush and all of that
Right.
on the roads takes more gas out of your tank, anyways. And we have, I'm sure it's going to affect the transportation district as far as like school buses and all of that.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah. No, it'll filter entirely through the system.
it's going to
So,
affect everyone.
Yep.
That's.
So the gas prices have to drop really fast so we can absorb that.
Wow, that's horrible.
Well, I mean, and then it doesn't
But-
matter because if it goes back up, that's still going to be on top of it anyway.
On top of
so
it. Yeah, that doesn't go away, unfortunately. So, okay, so should we move on to community stuff?
I got a couple more I wanted to share,
Okay.
and then we'll run along with community stuff. Let's see here, the other headline, and I just wanted to do this because I think it's funny that people with bad hair stick together.
Okay.
All right, Donald Trump had a meltdown on Truth Social late last night after MyPillow exec Mike Lindell said his cell phone had been confiscated by the feds while he was dining out at a Hardee's restaurant. I didn't know millionaires ate at Hardee's or
Yeah,
Carl's Jr.
Exactly.
Same thing.
dining out. How do they even call that dining? I'm sorry, but like, if your chairs are plastic, you're not dining. I'm sorry.
All right, former president wrote breaking news on Truth Social. Mike Lindell, the pillow guy, was just raided by the FBI. We are now officially living in a weaponized police state, rigged elections, and all. All right. He went on to declare the country is the laughingstock of the world. The majesty of the United States is gone. Isn't that his fault?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I just really wanted to make that bad hair joke. In science, I've been trying to give a science headline every day. Mountain glacier in Chile's Patagonia has collapsed. And you might go, oh, well, but it's the third glacier we've lost this summer.
Yeah.
We lost one in the Himalayas, and one also in the Alps, all considered due to global warming.
Global warming.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I read a thing the other day. There's this huge ice shelf, I guess, down in Antarctica, or
Yep.
that it's sitting on the seabed, but the seabed is slowly being eroded underneath it.
Yeah, there's a mountain ridge that is
Right.
actually holding the glacier back, and they say, and their projections have been too long. What they're finding is everything they've said is going to happen is happening much sooner, and they said sometime between now and 10 years, it's going to wear off that ridge, and that iceberg is going to come floating in, and it's going to raise the sea level 10 feet.
Huh. Wow, that's a lot.
That's huge.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you might not
Goodbye,
think,
New Orleans.
yeah, you might not think that's a lot, but that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a
Yeah.
lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
All right. One more here. I got a couple left. Staff left visibly shaken as the new king tells the household at his former residence that 100 of them are being, what did they say, are now redundant, which means you're fired. Him and Camilla, they're two people. Did
Right.
they really need 100 staff? I can't even get one cat to do anything for me. 100 staff.
Right. I could employ. Well, no, I could have jobs for 100 staff in my house.
You find
Okay.
work for him?
Oh yeah, they could dust 24/7
Seven.
around the clock, and things would still be dusty.
All right, my last science story. This one is so cool. It's Jurassic Park for real because they're they're trying to recreate the woolly mammoth and a couple other animals that
Right.
went extinct, whether you like that or not. It's happening. Researchers in Canada have discovered parts of what they believe to be an entire dinosaur mummy lodged in a hillside. The two exposed fossils, a foot and part of a tail clad in fossilized skin, are believed to belong to a juvenile duck-billed hadrosaur dinosaur that died somewhere between 77 and 75 million years ago. It's so well preserved. You can see the individual scales. They think everything's in place here. Tendons, skin over the entire animal. They said, which means if we're really lucky, we'll see some internal organs that might have been preserved as well. Maybe even find out what the animal's last meal was. But they think the entire skeletal and everything is all sealed in, which I think there'll be sampling some DNA. Just saying.
Well, they should be careful because I think that if they push this too far, they're going to find the DNA of some kind of a predatory dinosaur and recreate it and find out it's a dragon.
Ooh, wouldn't that be cool? Well,
Yeah.
it's the kind of the same thing that they do on Jurassic Park. I mean, doing it for real now. And these animals like the woolly mammoth, when they can't find the exact DNA, they're doing exactly what they
That's
said in the
not-
movie
Yeah,
and
that's-
using the DNA of a different animal. I find that really, really scary.
And they would have to stick to whatever the ancestral path or the descendants of that animal turned into, whether it's an elephant or those Asian elephants that have the hair or whatever, something of similar kind. But I don't know if they're thinking of this or not, but an animal that lived and walked and breathed that long ago, are they thinking about creating the vegetation that it ate?
Is it going to have what it needs, I guess?
Yeah,
Well-
the world is completely different now. Even the air and the magnetism of the planet is completely different now. So how are they going to sustain that life? And I think it just falls right into the bucket of things that human beings do because they can and don't stop to think if they should.
Yeah. All I can think of is that old commercial, "Don't mess with Mother Nature."
Right.
So.
And that'll be a whole new warning. Maybe in
Right.
10 years, it'll say, and today, look out for dragons.
Right?
Dragon for 11 o'clock.
All right. There, enough of news headlines. You are listening to KCHW Chihuahua. It's your morning show. If you just joined us, Mike Bentz, Michelle Williams, and myself, Scott Allen. And we will go ahead and roll into local goodies. And we usually kick that off with Mike Bentz. And I know Michelle's got a lot of stuff going on. She's helping out with a couple community groups, too. Where do you want to start today, Mike?
Oh, well, let's start with the chamber.
Okay.
The big chamber event's coming up 2 weeks from this Saturday on October 8th. Is that 3 weeks from this Saturday? 2 weeks, isn't it?
3
weeks.
Three.
3 weeks from this Saturday. It's the gala auction, the annual one on October 8th. That hasn't happened now. I think this will be the third year, so it'll be kind of back in the fold at that point. And I've got, Pawani sent me an update and wants to remind everybody that the tickets are $40 a piece as far as the dinner is concerned. You have a choice of either beef or chicken. You'll pick that at the tickets or when you purchase the ticket. Tickets are available at Acres United Drug, the Valley Drug, and the Independent, and of course at the Chamber office, all three of those. There is also a raffle going. You can buy raffle tickets, and inside that raffle basket will be a variety of gift cards, gift certificates, and chamber bucks. It's well worth entering, I can tell you. It's pretty well known that 2 years in a row that I won that basket. And I can tell you there was north of $1,500 in various things in both of those baskets. So I did enter again this year. I'm just warning people. Okay. And if we, excuse me. This year we're going to have a featured artist. That'll be Red Burnell Ceramics, and she's been in the Spotlight Gallery, and she's actually showing now in the Trails In Gallery. She's currently in there. She does beautiful work. She does both practical pieces and then also artistic type pieces, which is a little bit of a change they're adding to it. And, the usual suspects as far as some of the auction items, Hanson Logging, Richmond Logging are doing the log truck loads. Chihuahua Center for the Arts is giving away tickets to 10 different plays. So basically it's a
Ooh.
full season
Neat.
pass effectively.
That is
that's
so
That's
cool.
really, really cool. Our pals, Dawson Trucking, We'll have several loads of crushed rock. That's always goes really fast.
I need that.
Okay, you heard that. Michelle will be
need
there
that.
with her checkbook. Okay, and let's see. The Chewelah Valley Lions are going to do Scott's favorite thing, the 12 months of desserts. So,
Get in my belly.
in your belly. You just got to figure out, you can bid from Maine.
Yeah.
We just got to figure out how to get it
ship
to you.
it?
I need a proxy.
You need a proxy. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I could probably arrange a proxy. You just got to tell me how much you're willing to invest in the chamber.
$1 million.
Yeah, I got that on the air. Did you get that on the air? And it's
Yeah.
actually recorded too.
It is.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Now, if you'd said $1 million rubles, I would have said,
Yeah, I can do that.
big. Okay.
That's still about $5,000 though,
was
so
gonna
maybe
say.
not.
That's true.
That's still-
Okay. Well, in General Dentistry's got $1,000 worth of dental work you can bid
Ooh.
on. And we have the premier sponsors, the people that are buying the tables, I think tables of 8, are Stumpf & Sons Farms, Richmond Logging, Valley Drug, Westoff Excavation, Acres United Drug, Hanson Logging, and God-Fearing Brothers, Auto Sales and Towing. And I think there's 2, maybe 3 tables left at the last time I checked. So if you're out there and you're listening and you want to get a table, it's $800 a table, but it includes all 8 it includes meals for all people at the table. They have an hors d'oeuvre platter, and I believe 2 free drink tickets per individual. I also yesterday I heard at the meeting I was at, Fruitland Wineries is going to be the wine purveyor, and so that's nice. Bringing in a local business. I mean, but that's all happening as far as the auction is concerned. You'll hear more of that as we get closer, as we ramp it up, and we do more promotion on a variety of different things. Of course, then we have Boo Fest coming up on the 28th. I heard last night that I know Michelle's in charge of that, but they've already started meeting and putting together a lot of stuff. Thankfully, we have a great track record and itinerary and things to do and things not to do from last year. And so it's just going to be improved. I do know that the Arts Guild is going to do the light up the garden center,
Right.
I guess, not light up the park. Indigo Kennedy said last night that they're going to take on that project, so that'll be there too. We got the authorization from the board last night. The Creative District wants to participate also.
Awesome.
And so I already know some things some people want to do that not only candy, but make it a little bit more freaky.
Oh, yay.
From that standpoint.
So, yeah, we did have, I put out some feelers. We had some interest in maybe running a haunted house or something during Boo Fest. And so Justin Schramm has offered his location to house it and host it. So could be kind of neat the way that his building is set up with like that kind of long, narrow. We could make some really cool.
Well,
cool
and he's
stuff
got that
going on.
theater set up in there, so you could have all kind of freaky things coming out of that
Yes.
theater.
Well,
and-
that used to be a
And the
thing that
sounds.
the high school kids would do, but it was part of the theater program through the high school. So
Right.
imagine with that going away, now we don't have our annual haunted house.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're bringing that back. Then always remind my people, the Forest Service is in the chamber office on Tuesdays from 10 to 2. You can get all kinds of permits and maps and you name it. Eric's the guy's name. And then when he's not there, Puani has those in the chamber office throughout the week. The only thing she can't do is she can't sell permits. And neither can Eric as far as that goes, because it's an off-site location and Forest Service has all kinds of rules around that. Let's see. City Sidewalks is starting to they met for the first time, I think, a week ago. And that's going to be a joint effort between City Sidewalks, Farmers Market, and the Creative District. Their first meeting jointly is going to be, I think, on the 29th of this month. And so they're really already know what the Creative District's starting to work on, so it's going to be fun. I can tell you that. Thanks to Melanie Huff, she's going to let us take over that entire building for City
Nice.
Sidewalks.
Cool.
And we'll be able to do some pretty cool stuff utilizing that entire building. And then, of course, I always have to put my plug in for Chamber Bucks. chamber bucks are probably the best currency to use. I don't know if that's legal. Best currency to use in Chewelah, because you can go into the chamber office or the independent and pick up some chamber bucks, and 100% of those have to go back into the community. And I think there's 42 or 43 merchants that accept those locally. And you can use them anywhere from gift certificates to prizes to employee rewards to just a thank you. I mean, use them for auction items, that type of thing. So to me, it's really unique. With the chambers I've been involved with, this is the only one that uses something similar to that does not take a cut. And so you give them $100, you get $100. Instead of in some chambers, you give them 100 and you get 90 back, that type of thing. So this is it's a huge win as far as Chewelah is concerned from that perspective.
I think I'm going to start paying my kids' allowance in chamber bucks.
That's a good idea, actually. Actually, I don't have permission to use their name, but there is a company or locally that buys $5 chamber bucks and gives them to the Guess Elementary kids.
Oh, nice.
I
like it.
Which is phenomenal. I mean, that type of thing.
Great idea.
So it's a really, really good idea. So let's see. I think on the chamber side, I'm sure I'm missing something, but as always, there's so much stuff going on that, you just kind of wonder, how does it get done? And Michelle's learning that underground volunteer network in Chewelah. I think she made a comment to me the other day is that she's been here for 20 years.
Yeah.
And she had no idea what was happening behind the scenes.
There's a lot, isn't there, Michelle?
Well, I knew that there was a lot of groups and stuff, but I never really traveled in those circles before, and so now I've kind of been immersed in it rather rapidly.
Right.
But it's really kind of awesome. I didn't know that there was so many people involved that had this similar mindset, to really motivate each other to do big things like this, and it's really awesome to be a part of it now. So
well, and what
really
Michelle's becoming a part of, Scott, is a new movement in Chewelah, and Sharon Ludwig said it last night in the Crave District meeting. The power she sees and being in some of these meetings is it's a younger demographic that's taking over. And historically we have had a problem with aging out, and so now you have the Michelles and you have the Justins and you have I'm going to start naming names because I'm sure I'll forget somebody, but it's an entirely younger demographic that's taking over, and that's healthy. I mean, that's super healthy.
And then that's one of the graphics that's the hardest to get to volunteer.
Right.
And not to slight them, it's because they're usually in the middle of their careers, and they're in the middle of raising their family, so they have a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. Yeah. And the beautiful thing about the Chewelah community is you can plug in at different levels in a whole lot of different organizations. So you don't have to immerse yourself. You can go in and say, I'd like to help this, or I'd like to just do a little. We're finding that at the Creative District. We're having people that say, I want to volunteer, but I don't want to be a full-time volunteer, basically. So we got people that volunteer just 2 hours.
Yeah, and there's so many people that are volunteering in so many different things,
right,
that it's hard to find time. You sit down to talk to them about one thing and you end up discussing 10 things because everyone's so involved in everything. It's like a spider web of different events with the same people, and I think that has a lot to do with the leading up to the burnout of some people. It's just they're just the same people involved with all these different things, and there's not enough energy in a human being to do all of that.
Exactly. And so moving on, the from a chamber perspective, I'll talk a little bit about the Creative District. Our first mural is up and it's done. And Scott, I'll send you a picture of it. It's awesome. Tracy Manley put it's a deer up on the Aaron Huff building. It's probably 8 feet wide and 10 feet tall. Very, very vibrant. And Tracy is a phenomenal artist anyway. And so there's, at this point, I don't think there's a name for it, so I just kind of, in tongue-in-cheek, said calling it the Chewelian deer. But that'll be sealed this Saturday, and then the plaques for it will be ordered sometime in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But it's nice to have a finished piece from the capital grant side. We'll do the RFPs on the next mural sometime after the 1st of October. and then all the prep work and everything else be done through the winter, so that'll go up in the spring. And at this point, the building that we're looking at is the WEI, or the Westoff Excavation Building. So that's working there. I actually, the Mammoth mural that Keith Powell and David Goverdeer did on the CenturyLink building, the city was gracious enough to award some lodging tax money to get that restored. So
Nice.
it's been cleaned. I met with Keith Powell this week, and he's going to do some touch-ups on it to enhance the visuals, and, the skulls and the people and things like that. Great guy, I mean, to talk to. And of course, we're born in the same year, so we have a lot of commonality. But
It was 19...
02.
02, yeah. So he's going to do that, and then once that's done, we're going to have that mural sealed, and that'll pretty much take care of this lodging tax. And then for the next cycle, which will be next year, we're going to request money to redo the lighting on it, because the lighting was put up in 1999 and doesn't even work at this point in time.
Yeah.
So that's we're moving forward on that. Let's see, the art auction, the first Thursday was on actually the second Thursday in September because of Labor Day. And for the first time, I was able to hobble around town without killing my knee. And I tell you, for September 8th, the town was hopping. I mean, it was unreal. I mean, I think that's going to continue to grow as it goes out. I know we have a new gallery coming on board here in the next 30 days or so, where Tim used to be in the old, the insurance building, Twila Insurance Building. The rotation of the artists has been fantastic. And in fact, the Chihuahua got written up in a travel guide off the East Coast.
Nice.
It's called grouptravel.com or something. And there were 6 creative districts basically focused on that. And we were by far the smallest, but we were put in the category of Ashley, North Carolina, and Indianapolis. And it was. I have no idea who did. Oh, I know who did it, but I have no idea where the information came from. So that's a positive. People are recognizing the creative district without approaching the creative district and saying, "Hey, I'd like to get an article done."
Very cool.
Yeah. So it's popping along really, really, really well. Let's see, Chihuahua Center for the Arts. We have this phenomenal event coming up this Saturday from 1 to 4. And they've got a great lineup of people coming out of the film industry.
Yeah, I'm going to be there for that.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Fantastic. And so, and what it is, it's an introduction to film, I guess. And Joel Wasinski put that together, which is probably no surprise. And it's to get anybody and everybody that's interested in the film industry a taste of what it's going to be like.
With permission, I might record a few snippets from that and then maybe air later.
Yeah, that'd
on the
be
radio.
Great.
So I'll bring my laptop and my little stuff and do some snippets.
Okay.
So, something people might not be aware of, talent agencies and local unions will be there as well. And you might not think of Spokane as a place that has a talent agency, but I believe if they're still in business, there was one out in Cheney called Big Fish.
Right.
And I remember years ago, I was when I was working in radio in Spokane, I had a buddy who was making some pretty good extra cash doing voiceovers. In fact, I believe he was the one that did Northwest Ford Trucks Built Tough at the end of every commercial and a big stamp.
Right.
And he was making quite a little piece of money every time that aired on a different television station. He would get a little residual royalty on that. So I went to him and auditioned, and I was looking for some voiceover work too. And she came back at me and said, "Well, why don't you want to do video?" And I had never been on a camera before, and I said, "Well, I'm kind of camera shy." So she sent me out on 3. She did like a little demo video and sent me out for 3 commercials. And every time the camera light came on for the audition, I froze up. I wouldn't do it today, but I froze up. And what was funniest is the reason why I said I don't want to do video. And she says, "Well, you'll get a lot of work because I can't find middle-aged men that still have their hair." So if you've got hair and you can talk, there might be some money in commercials out there that you might not. And you're middle aged. She said it's a very popular age for commercials, and that the local talent agencies have a hard time finding middle aged men with their hair. And Mike, can you tell me why they don't want a bald person in the television commercials?
Because it's too shiny.
Yes.
I was gonna say that's one of the benefits of not being tall. Because as men, get taller, they just grow through their hairline.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're not balding. You're just too tall for your hairline.
Okay. All right. So I'm some kind of Neanderthal that outgrew there.
Neanderthal.
Okay. All right. I just tell people I'm just more further involved than the rest of you hairy beasts.
Oh.
So, all right, so that's Saturday afternoon. But is the Rompin' Roar, is that still open for people?
Man, I got lots of stuff here. I mean, the Chihuahua Center for the Arts. They've got Salish Cultural Day coming up on the 22nd of September. That's I think Sharon said a week ago they have like 500 kids show up for that, and that's a full day event. The art. There's an artist or an author talk. I'll get it out coming up on October 6th. They're starting to do all their auditions and everything for the plays that are happening till the end of the year. So probably the best thing there is go to their website, Chihuahua Center for the Arts, and there's all kinds of information on there. So moving over to the golf course, the Rompin' Roar is coming up. It's actually I've got the brochure here. I wanted to make sure I got the date right because I'm pretty famous. The Rompin' Roar tournament is coming up on the 17th, so it'll be this Saturday. I don't know if they're fully subscribed, but call the clubhouse at the golf course at 935-6807, and you can find out how to register. That's always a good time. It's golf on steroids with weird things.
I like that.
It's just a fun time. I mean, the whole event starts, I think, around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. Oh, shotgun start at 10. That's the actual golfing side. And then they play 18 holes. It's what they call a shotgun. So basically, everybody starts at the same time on different holes, and so they finish basically at the same time. And then they've got a big, feed going on. I think what Sean and the crew are doing is pulled pork, snacks, drink tables. There's a dress-up scavenger hunt. My favorite part of that whole thing is the number 9 hole. It's where the tee box is high and it goes straight down a hill. That's the bowling ball hole. You don't use golf balls; you use bowling balls.
Oh, I like it. And, that's pretty cool.
It is, yeah. But you only get one swing of the bowling ball, and so. But luckily, it's sweep enough that when you let the bowling ball go, if you've got a good eye and you can manage the topography of the ground, you can make it all the way to the green.
Oh, nice.
Because I did that one year. I made it to the green. So we have the famous hole that we call the Scott hole. That's where you sit on a toilet to tee off.
Did you say Scott or squat?
I said Scott.
Ow.
One of the holes will be Falf, where they'll have the Frisbee golf set up, so you can do that. I mean, it's just a fun time, and it's a great fundraiser for the Lions organization, which is, as you know, and Michelle probably knows, it gets awarded all the time from the Lions International as being one of the top Lions organizations actually in the world. To heck with the States or North America, in the world. So that's coming up then. Also on the golf course, the golf course will be shutting down the first or second Sunday in October. Because we need about a week to winterize that thing.
Right.
I tell people that if you think winterizing your RV is a tough job, this thing takes a week. It takes a large compressor that's wheeled, and there's about 20 miles of underground pipes that have to be blown out.
Rusty Putter is staying open, correct?
The Rusty Putter will stay open Friday through Sunday. Once that happens, we won't be open, the rest of the week. The hours on Friday and Saturday will be fairly normal, probably 8 to 7, that type of thing. And then Sunday, it'll be from 8 to 3, that type of thing. And we've got Tiffany Cox, who I don't know, Scott, have you ever met Tiffany at all?
I have not.
Okay. Tiffany Cox from Tiffany Cox Design she's doing all the digital media stuff, and so she's actually working on that package after the golf course closes down. So follow our Facebook page, follow the website. Anybody that's on our database, as far as emails are concerned, that'll be sent out. So we'll be promoting that. Let's see. I think on the golf course, there's still plans to have cross-country skiing this year. And our cross-country skiing's a little bit different than the Nordic style you'd get like at 49 degrees north. And I know that up there they're going to open up their Nordic stuff this year. Ours is more, I won't say family friendly, that's probably not fair, but it's really flat. It'll be not necessarily hard to do. It's more of a outdoor Friday afternoon, Sunday afternoon event. It'll start at the clubhouse, and there'll be trails that'll be marked, and then you come back and you finish at the clubhouse. That's really the only requirement we have. It's free. There's no cost. Is that you start at the clubhouse and end at the clubhouse, because that whole golf course is really a private, as far as the owners are concerned. So we want to, just for safety's sake, we want to keep the course relatively manageable. So. Let's see, and then beyond the golf course, I want to go to the Downtown Strategies, which is the Firefighters Olympics coming up, and the Fall Festival. And I was at the meeting this week, and on the firefighter side, I'll talk a little bit about that, and then I'm going to turn it over to Michelle on the Fall Festival. That's coming along very, very well. It looks like we got 20 booths around town. I think that's what Debbie said.
Yep.
And the booths are filling with cash that all goes directly to the Wildline Firefighters Foundation. And then I'm getting out of my wheelhouse here, so I'm going to say, Michelle, what's happening on the Fall Festival side?
So the basic rundown for the Fall Festival, and it is the same day as the Firefighters Olympics in the park. We're going to start the day 10 a.m. with a parade. It's going to start out by the City Hall. And it's going to come down, take a left on Main Street, shoot down to 5th, circle back around. I think they said they're going to go around Colville and not go all the way to Lincoln so that they don't block traffic.
Yeah, they want to leave Lincoln open.
But we will have maps and stuff for that to get put in the newspaper, so everyone will know the parade route and they can, pull up their chairs or whatever. After the parade is over, we are going to be ushering people over to the park so that I can start setting up vendors down Main Street. Vendors, I'm going to stage vendors to show up probably around 11 a.m. or 11:30, between 11 and 11:30, so that I can get the main tables and the main tents set up in the middle of the road and my stage set up, and then I will channel the vendors to come in and stage them in their setup from the ends inward. We have Kids Alley, which is really cool. We have some kid vendors from around the area. I actually took some extra time over last weekend and drove all the way out to Elk and secured about 18 more vendors from that area, and some of those were kids too, which is really cool. So the whole kids area, the kids are going to vend 15 and under vend for free in that area. I think we're going to have the Chewelah cheerleaders, the cheer team. A few of them have been awarded some American cheer something or other, so they're going to take a trip to Hawaii, so they're going to be down there vending so that they can pay for their trip and do the financing for that. So that's really cool, good for them. In the senior center, we have some bingo going on and some other things, and some indoor vendors kind of in that area, so we're really trying to be inclusive of everyone and draw everyone in for this and bring everybody all together and have a little bit of something for everybody.
And I think you've got 3 music venues set up. Is that correct?
I have 3 bands coming in.
Right.
The main stage is going to be directly out in front of the Yale, and then the beer garden is going to be hosted inside SETI's Garden Center, so that's going to be great. They have a great aesthetic there. It's absolutely beautiful in there. I love the way they have it set up, and it's all fenced off and everything, so it works out perfectly. I was just down there yesterday and kind of going over the power specs and everything, and met with Carrie. She's fired up. She's going to be providing the beverages for the beer garden, so that's fantastic. So beyond the stage, we'll have a dancing area, maybe a few tables, and then the vendors will begin down the middle of Main Street, and then the businesses will have an area to bring out in front of their storefronts. I believe that the restaurants, I'm not sure if Fired Up will actually be open because she is closed right now making food for all of the firefighters that are, out there really, really going to bat for us, keeping these fires under control and trying to get them put out. So she is donating her time, and I don't know. I can't imagine.
I saw a picture the other day where they're doing all the morning prep. They just got to.
I talked to her yesterday, and it was supposed to end. She was supposed to be able to reopen today, but since the fires are still going, they've asked her to continue producing food for the firefighters. So she's in it for at least another week.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And then some things that jumped out of me because I'm just kind of sitting on the wayside trying to figure out what can I get my fingers into. The car show. There's going to be a car show in the Napa parking lot.
Right.
And then and I got maybe I'm wrong, but are all three bands going to be playing simultaneously?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
we have one stage. So the music will start at 5 o'clock. I have a band called Out West coming in. They're a country cover band. So I think they're going to be great energy to kick it off and get people moving. Around 6 o'clock, I think 6 to 8 is when like the dinner time area, the area is going to be open, but that's kind of what they're looking at, like for most people to eat around 6 to 8. The farmers market is going to be there. Some people from the farmers market, the food vendors. I think we have the Conscious Craves coming. I have the Corner Table coming from Springdale. She's going to come up and do some stuff, and then I kind of threw an idea out at Brad at the last meeting to have like the farmers market people maybe put together some kind of like little salads or something. And I spoke with Jesse at Sporty's to do like a takeout special or something so people can get their food inside as like a to-go order and come out and sit at the long Viking style table that will be set up in the middle of the street. So that'd be kind of neat. And I think Justin said he's got a couple other food vendors that are coming in.
Right, yeah.
I don't have information
Well,
on
I
who
think
those
Brad
artists
said
yet.
that Wood Fired Pizza is going to be there.
Are they?
Yeah,
I think
because
he
he
only
said they
said there
didn't
was
need power.
one vendor that
Okay.
really.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'm speaking out
not
of
sure.
turn. Yeah, I'm not sure then. Okay.
But then we have, for other musical talent, we have Fire Bottle Brothers out of Kettle Falls, and I guess they are an up and rising sensation from Kettle Falls. They just played at Farm Jam, and I heard that they were just fantastic. They have like a saxophone, and like it's just going to be great. I can't wait to hear what they bring to the stage. It's going to be awesome. And then we're going to close out the evening with a local favorite, Old Souls and Antiques, and they're kind of interesting too. They don't have any drums, so they do all of their stuff with their stringed instruments, and it's all a really good show.
All right. You hear that thunder?
So, I did. I know.
Can you hear the thunder?
I could not.
Oh, really?
I've got
yeah.
my. If he didn't move it, I've got my thing here so I can check.
See, I thought it was because Michelle was promoting the fall festival that the gods were saying, "Listen."
And Michelle, I'd just like to thank you for not inviting that hard rock band that wants me dead from Spokane.
There's a what?
The hard rock band that wanted me dead from
Oh
Spokane.
yeah, so they're not from Spokane. They're from Colville.
Oh, okay.
They're closer than you think. But no.
Okay, good.
Anyway, but it's coming along. You know, what's just it gets back to that Chihuahua thing. You know, somebody throws an idea out there, never done before. So I'm sure there'll be hiccups here and there, but you know, that's how you get better.
Right.
And Michelle's been, you know, kind of the dynamo behind the scenes. Her and Justin, or you know, Shram from Omni Gaming, are the dynamos behind the scenes. And when I'm sitting at this table on Monday morning, there again, you look at the people at the table, and you know, Sharon and I are the antiques. Maybe Sharon doesn't appreciate that.
You're very valuable.
So
you're very valuable.
You know, but there's a lot of energy in that room. I mean, and so really looking forward to it. I know the Creative District's looking forward to it. We're trying to figure out how to make it work. You know, as far as we're going to have 3 booths in front of it, and we're going to open like a mini gallery behind, you know, in the foyer of that building. So, yeah, I mean, it's to be the first shot, and I know that I'll be talking about it tomorrow morning in the meeting with the Chamber Marketing Committee. The next thing up will be Winterfest, and I know that Tim and the Creative District and the Chamber are going to work on trying to figure out how to get a date nailed down, because Tim's Winterfest actually lasts for a couple of months. So, at the end of the judging I think we're probably going to have some kind of a community event.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's just so many things going on.
Yeah, let me know where you guys end up on that, and because in the middle of all of this process, the mayor had requested that a new association be brought to the table in light of Chewelah Celebrations disbanding and no longer being.
Right.
So Justin has been named the president, and I have been named the vice president of the new Chewelah Festival Association. I just actually made a Facebook page for it last night. So if anyone's listening, they want to keep informed on what we're doing and what's going on, or you want to get in touch with us as far as things that you're trying to put together or trying to put on, events that you want to do. We are also not just trying to do stuff, but we want to be there to help people that want to do their things too. So reach out and contact us.
I'm curious to get the mayor back on the radio and see how surprised he is, because he put this out there a couple months ago on the morning show that he wanted to do some kind of festival community event every quarter. And you guys just went crazy with this one. So I'm sure it's way bigger than he even imagined.
I remember that show, and I remember you telling him to get to know me because I was an asset. And now it's like, yeah. And now
pretty soon they're going to have a special office in City Hall for Michelle.
Well,
they're going to carve it out, and it's going to be called Chewelah Festival Association. But no, and actually I put out an outreach to several people as far as lining up talk show hosts and hosting. And Greg was one of the first ones that raised his hand and said, me too, me. So I'll probably, since the Fall Festival is coming up here in a couple of weeks, I'll probably get him on, see if we can get him on next week.
Yeah, that would be great.
And, kind of fill in from his perspective where we're at and things like that. So
he has to come into the office, though.
Yeah, he has to. Well, he loves coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that won't be an issue at all. And then before we move on, I do have a couple of things that I can't understand why I forgot something. I mean, there's so dang much stuff going on.
1902.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As far as the Wildlife Firefighters Foundation, the firemen are going to be there doing fire burgers, and 100% of all proceeds over their costs are going to go towards that foundation. So be sure to show up for that. The Creative District has their monthly artist gathering. It's actually tomorrow evening at the Huff Cultural Center at 6 o'clock. That's where we invite anybody and everybody that's a creative to come in and kind of share. And that's powerful for us as a Creative District, because we listen to what people are talking about. So then we try to figure out how to make that work. And so, we've gotten a lot of good ideas. We built that list out just from that one meeting alone, and we'll get 8 to 15 people show up. But I just want to get that out there to any listeners that are creative or know a creative. And by definition, by the way, a creative is anybody that makes something with their hands or their mind. And so, if you could show up tomorrow night, that'd be fantastic. Let's see. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. But I'm going to end with what I always end. If you say there's nothing to do in Chewelah, you're living under a rock.
Right. I have a couple things to add to that. Stage Time Theater does start today. It's going to be running, through October, I believe.
Okay.
I believe they're going to be having their performances of Frozen somewhere
Frozen
around.
Junior, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around.
Right before Christmas.
Yeah, so Stage Time Theater does start today. So if you have any kids that want to get into that theater, or you want to be involved in that, or volunteer to help do stage, sound, makeup, any of that stuff, get in touch with, who would they get in touch with?
Janet McLaughlin.
Janet McLaughlin, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and there again, they can just go onto the website, and there's all kinds of contact information inside the website.
And then the 29th of September, we have the Taste of Chewelah, right?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Good movement. Yeah, we have the Taste of Chewelah coming up that, is sponsored by the Art Guild. They have a silent auction that goes out. 250 tickets are available. And it's where they ask several of the restaurants to kind of put something a little bit different together. and even the Rusty Putter participates. We're going to be at Quartzsite Brewery. That's where we set
excellent.
up. And I have no idea what Sean and Brittany are putting together up there, but I know the last couple of years it's been tasty.
Very good.
But yeah, it's an annual fundraiser for the Arts Guild, and so I'm not 100% sure, but I got a sneaking feeling that Indigo Kennedy is going to have one of her infamous or famous quilts available for auction. And if you've ever seen her work, I mean, it's phenomenal. So. But yeah, thanks for bringing that up. For whatever reason, I didn't even have it on my list. I'll have to slap myself. Yeah.
Wow, Mike.
I know it. Well, the older you get,
That's why we got to work together.
That's right, exactly. But I mean, I've been doing this, what now, Scott, 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah, somewhere. Probably coming up on 4, I'd guess.
And it's
I
astounding
saw some of your guys' earlier videos. They pop up in my my notifications when Facebook flags them. And I have to say, Scott, your hair was really fantastic.
You like the long curly hair, do you?
It's fantastic.
Yeah, the mullet. When I first started, he had the mullet.
All right, kids, enough about my hair.
Okay.
All right, when we come back, oh, by the way, good job, both of you. There you go. All right, we come back. We're running long today because we started late, and we're just going to keep on doing that. We're going to go to break. We're going to do a 5-minute news drop. We're going to thank a sponsor. When we come back, we'll have local birthdays, odd news, and if we have time, a little bit more. Stay right here. It's Northern Lights Public Radio, and we are KCHW 102.7.
You're listening to 102.7 KCHW Shawila.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Chinese leader Xi Jinping's trip to Central Asia is kicking off with a visit to Kazakhstan, where he's expected to meet the country's president. That's before a meeting with Vladimir Putin. Kassym-Jomart Tokayev is seen as a key figure in the region for China's interests, as Patrick Falk reports from Beijing.
It's where President Xi launched his signature Belt and Road Initiative in 2013, and it's also an important cross-continental transit route. But the Chinese leader's visit to Kazakhstan also provides an opportunity for Xi to gauge where President Tokayev stands on China's core principles. Tokayev is a former diplomat who speaks both Russian and Chinese and came to power following almost 3 decades of rule by his predecessor. Kazakhstan has traditionally leaned towards Russia, but analysts say it's also interested in China's economic clout. And with Moscow's position as the dominant security presence within the region damaged by the war in Ukraine, China could step in to fill the void. Patrick Falk, Beijing.
The Queen begins lying in state in Westminster on Wednesday after her coffin's moved from Buckingham Palace. It spent Tuesday night there after being flown from Scotland back to RAF Northolt outside London. Thousands of people lined the route into London as the Queen's hearse made its way to the palace.
I really feel like I wanted to be part of it. I don't know why. It's just the Queen's always been part of our lives.
She's a very special woman, dedicated 7 decades of her life to us, so the least we could do is come down here in the rain and pay our respects.
Hundreds of thousands of people are expected to queue to file past the Queen's coffin in London as it lies in state. Preparations for Monday's state funeral are also continuing, which London's Mayor Sadiq Khan says is one of the most complicated operations the city's ever staged.
We will have almost 300 world leaders and their teams and entourages. I don't think our city's ever seen the sort of presence we're going to see over the next few days. If you think about the London Marathon, Carnival, previous royal weddings, the Olympics, it's all that in one.
Kenneth Starr, whose investigations into Bill Clinton led to the former president's impeachment, has died at 76. Starr became a household name in the US for looking into Clinton's business dealings and personal life. Ira Spitzer reports.
Kenneth Starr rose to national prominence after he was appointed by a federal appeals panel in 1994 to probe then-President Clinton's involvement in the Whitewater real estate scandal. A conservative Republican lawyer, Starr's investigation expanded to include Clinton's affair with White House intern Monica Lewinsky, for which Clinton was impeached in 1998 but not removed from office. Starr's pursuit of Clinton widened the partisan divide in the U.S., although Starr always rejected accusations that his work was politically motivated. Ira Spitzer, San Francisco.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking today in more depth at the reaction in Ukraine to the advances made by the country's military over the last week and a half. President Zelensky claimed yesterday that thousands of square miles of territory have been liberated by Ukrainian forces. And while the precise scale of the country's success is still not independently confirmed, social media has been replete with video of civilians celebrating the arrival of Ukrainian forces in their liberated towns and villages. Ina Sovsun is the deputy leader of the pro-European Golos party in Ukraine's parliament.
The situation is different from town to town. So in some towns there were major fights taking place over there, and we as well lost lots of soldiers over there. But in some towns they have just left even before Ukrainian army actually approached the town. So the situation can differ from case to case. But well, I'll tell you this, definitely the mood in the country has changed very significantly. I was overhearing people talking in the underground, in buses. Everybody's talking about this counteroffensive, and general mood is this: the Russians are running away, and we are happy with that. We want them to run as far as possible.
But it's not clear whether Ukraine can consolidate its gains. The country's foreign minister said this week its armed forces need to brace for a fresh Russian offensive in the days and weeks ahead. I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, Chinese leader Xi Jinping's trip to Central Asia, on which he will meet with Vladimir Putin, is beginning in Kazakhstan. The Queen begins lying in state in Westminster today after her coffin's moved from Buckingham Palace. Hundreds of thousands of people are expected to queue to file past the Queen's coffin in London between now and Monday's funeral. And Kenneth Starr, whose investigations into Bill Clinton led to the former president's impeachment, has died at the age of 76. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
Your KCHW Morning Show, made possible by a donation from God-Fearing Brothers Auto Center. God-Fearing Brothers specializes in auto services, including repair, maintenance, and detailing. They also stock a full selection of tires, make glass repairs, offer towing, and have an auto sales lot on the corner of Highway 395 and Main Street at the light. For more information, you can visit the Auto Service Center at 806 East Main in Chewelah. Find them online at godfearingbrothers.com or by phone at 509-935-6414. KCHW FM thanks God-Fearing Brothers for supporting public radio in Stevens County.
And we're back. It's KCHW 102.7, part two of your morning show. It's a short part two because we ran long during the first segment because the other two on the show are really full of hot air.
Yeah, but then the technical whiz behind the scenes had us late.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Michelle,
okay.
Will you share with us any local birthdays we might have for today?
Yes. Today, I'd like to wish a happy birthday for September 14th to Vincent Aiken and Kristen Elliott.
All right, there you go. Applause for both of them. If you know them, you love them, you see them around town, point and laugh, tell them we were talking about them on the radio. Don't tell them what we said. All right. Going to skip a couple things we normally do since we're late on time, but I did want to roll out special events for today, which include Eat a Hoagie Day, Gobstopper Day. Michelle, do you remember Gobstoppers?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mike probably doesn't even know what one is.
Is it a candy?
Yes.
Okay. It is.
Okay.
The everlasting gobstoppers.
Really? I have no idea.
It's like the jawbreakers.
Yeah.
Well, they're like tiny jawbreakers, right? And they
really?
have different colored layers inside.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Also known as the tooth cracker.
Yes. That's what through my mind. I mean, jawbreaker's bad enough. If it was smaller, would be worse.
And they're tricky because, like, when you got to the very, very middle part, it was
Right.
like a softer, really sour candy.
Oh,
so
really?
but you had to bite it to see if you got there yet. And sometimes you would bite it and you hadn't got there yet.
I love the jawbreakers with the Tootsie Roll in the middle.
Oh.
I think those are suckers, Mike. Was it on a stick?
No, it wasn't on a stick.
It was a sucker.
No.
Yeah. All right. Coloring day. So today's the day everybody can be an artist. Also, cream-filled donut day, so everybody can test out diabetes.
Is that hand in hand with heartburn day?
Okay. All right. Okay. This next day is Michelle's.
Oh, what?
His parents' day off.
Parents' day off.
Yay! It doesn't happen. That's a cruel joke. That's what that is.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's where you hand your kids a bunch of sharp items and you just let them off to their own devices all day.
No, that's where I just go and get some zip ties and find small trees.
Yeah.
Zip
Here's
tie
a book
them
of matches for everybody.
Oh, no.
No. All right. And I don't think we have one in Chihuahua. Do we support Latino Business Day?
This is.
Don't we have the?
The Mexican restaurant. There you go.
Restaurant. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Number for the day is 14, and that's the highest number of leaves ever found on a clover. Liars.
Ooh, really? Is that the record?
According to Guinness Book, it is 14. Highest number of leaves.
What goes through
ever
my
found on a
brain is
clover.
who would take the time to count all the leaves on a clover.
I have a new calling.
Oh, you're going to be looking for the 15th leaf?
No, see, it's a weird, superpower that I have. I can literally be walking through someone's yard and be like, oh, there's one. It's ridiculous.
Oh, really?
I find several of them in one afternoon.
Have you ever found 14, though?
I think
14 leaves.
I found one with 9.
It's not good enough, Michelle.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Keep trying.
That's why I said I have a new purpose.
I'm going to keep trying you guys.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Mike's working out, flexing his muscles.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Mike's flexing his muscles, but it should be his brain muscle he's flexing. But what would that look like on a camera? All right.
Okay.
All right. They call it fun and games. I hope it will be. First trivia question. 15% of cat owners do this. Just 15%. I happen to be one of them.
Bathe their cat.
Oh, he said bathe.
Is that what he said? Bathe the cat?
Yeah.
I was going to say roll the lint, lint roll your clothes to get the hair off.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
All right. No, I don't do either one of those. All right. 15% of cat owners do this. So do I.
Clip their claws?
No. Something much more fun.
Much more fun?
Much more fun.
Dress them up.
And little hats and booties. No. You guys this should be so easy. I do this with my cat.
You do it with your cat?
Huh?
Sleep with your cat.
Of course, but go on.
I don't know. Take her for walks?
Oh, you're getting warmer.
Oh.
Where else might I take my cat?
In the car.
That's right. Everywhere I go.
Okay.
15% of owners take their cats with them when they travel, as opposed to 78% of dog owners.
I only did that once, and we made it far as from Seattle to Missoula, Montana, and the cat got donated to one of my kids.
Oh, well, we
did not like to do that.
We used to live in Spokane, and we would come out to this area every weekend, and so we had 2 or 3 of our kitties that would go camping with us. So they got to know car travel really well, and I honestly didn't mind it so much. I had one cat that would lay across the dash while driving down the highway, like a stuffed animal, and didn't even care. But
Mooch has logged probably 20,000 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
But honestly,
And right now, even every day, so when she goes outside, every day she goes over to the RV and stands there and looks at the door and looks at me, and looks at the door until I open it up and she can go inside and make sure everything in the RV is still okay.
I thought she was telling you, let's go camping.
I think she's doing that too.
Oh,
so.
okay.
No,
yeah.
she's looking at him going, I don't know where we are, but we should go home. This is not okay, Dad. There's mosquitoes here as big as my face.
That's true. This is the thing that brought me here. It can get me away.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. 3 golfers die every year because of what?
Lightning strikes.
Yes. Just like Caddyshack.
Is that
Have
true?
you ever seen it happen, Mike?
No, I've never seen it happen. I've seen a lightning strike hit the course.
Okay.
You know, and you could see, I saw it split a tree, actually. But no, that doesn't surprise me.
Wow.
All right.
I would actually think the number would be higher.
That's an
Well,
interesting
think about it. You're
statistic.
standing out in the middle of nowhere with a metal.
Right. So
and
why
metal
can't
rod.
and why can't they make that out of that? Don't they have like that fiber stuff that's really strong they can make them out of? Or is
Well,
it
yeah,
not
but
strong
carbon
enough?
fiber still conducts electricity.
Oh well,
Yeah.
there you go. I guess.
Yeah.
Well.
Yep.
Wow.
And then, of course, your only solution is go hide under a tree. So you just extended
Right.
your antenna.
So,
yeah, I mean, I like right now. You know, it's been thundering pretty good out here. I'll guarantee you the sirens are going off at the golf course. 'Cause
Oh yeah.
we actually
a
have
warning?
sirens up there that
Get off the course.
Yeah,
Huh?
they've got an app that tracks storms, and when it gets to a certain point, so many miles or whatever, then the sirens go off and tell people to get off the course.
Wow.
We might not even be on the air on the radio right now due to lightning.
Yeah, it could be. I don't
But we're
know.
live on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
All right. Which came first, Band-Aids or the disposable razor?
I'm going to say disposable razor.
Michelle?
It's tricky because I know bandages came first, but Band-Aids,
Band-Aids, yeah.
the actual brand, or are we just talking about?
I'm talking the actual brand.
She's overthinking this.
Yeah. Well, you weren't on yesterday, okay?
It's horrible.
It was. There's trick questions everywhere. I'm gonna say Band-Aids just for.
To be different?
Yeah.
1920 for Band-Aids. It was a good guess, but the disposable razor, I'm surprised at this one. I would have thought it would have been like the 50s. Actually, 1901, first disposable razor.
Yeah, see, I was thinking of just sharpening knives, getting a dull, throw away, and get another knife.
Well, see, he was born in 1902, so he remembers that.
Yeah.
And I was born where I needed a razor.
All right, the can opener or Tupperware? And it doesn't say electric. Can opener or Tupperware?
I'm gonna say can opener.
Me too.
All right, you're both right. 1858. Tupperware, 1938. Still kind of surprising.
Right.
All right. Yes, we have totally ruined our planet with plastic. Disposable diapers or the teddy bear?
Oh,
teddy bear.
Teddy bear.
Teddy bear, 1902. Disposable diapers, surprisingly, again, 1951. All right. Easy. Mini skirt or blue jeans?
Blue jeans.
Blue jeans.
Blue jeans, 1850. Mini skirt, 1965. I actually prefer the mini skirt.
Yeah.
Surprise,
Do you find them more comfortable?
Yeah.
I do. I enjoy the breeze.
Drafty
and you know, I don't know if you've seen them before, but I actually have, despite the rest of me, I've got really good legs.
I'm not going to
All
go
right,
there.
keeping it lively here. This is easy. I'm going to give it to Mike Bentz. Give it easy. And if you feel like kind of iffy about one, you're welcome to do it into the camera. Let's see. I'm going to give you, you're going to give me 5 answers. I'm going to give you 15 seconds, Mr. Bentz.
Ooh, okay.
You have 15 seconds. And Michelle, will you count them off in your head? You have 15 seconds to give me 5 hand gestures. All right? On your mark. Get set. Go. You could say them out loud, too. So we had thumbs up. We had peace. We had love. We have thumbs down. All right.
I can't get them out.
How many did he get there? Is that 4?
That's 5.
Oh,
right
no,
here.
there's the one out. There's number 5. That's the
Right.
one I was counting on. Thanks a lot, Mike.
Okay.
thought you liked me.
Yeah. but I was very sensitive that this is a family-oriented show.
You were. So you had the peace, because I was having a hard time because you're kind of small on my computer.
Oh, okay.
So I saw a peace sign, I saw a thumbs up, I saw love, and then thumbs down. I guess they'll give you that one, but that was kind of a
Texas
cheat.
Longhorns.
And then you told me I was number one.
I tried doing the Sarcock thing, but I can't do that. My fingers don't move that way.
Oh, it was live long and prosper. Very
prosper,
good.
yeah.
All right.
Okay. So I actually gave you 6 or 7.
All right. Excellent. I think you made it on time, more or less.
Yeah, 12 seconds.
Say what, Michelle?
12 seconds.
12 seconds. Mm-hmm. Wow, look at that.
Good.
Well, let's wrap up the show with this fun stuff, too.
Slap some bacon on a biscuit and let's go.
Uh-huh.
We're burning daylight.
We are.
It's the world of strange. A world gone wacky.
Out here, due process is a bullet.
And some of the scariest people on the planet.
I think you're bluffing. Be afraid. You know, you look mighty pretty when you get mad.
It's your odd news on KCHW.
Just sit back and enjoy the show.
Woo! And we're kicking it off with the news attack. First part true, second statement bad joke. Here comes Michelle with the first one. Whoop, whoop.
All right. Well, news tells us there could be a railroad strike in the U.S. So right now, a bunch of middle-aged guys with train sets in their basements are begging to be called up to the majors.
Oh, just as a side note, the largest train set I ever saw was a guy in his basement, and this thing had to be 60 feet long and 30 feet wide. And,
wow.
He sat up on a pedestal, and he had all these controls, and he'd put on an engineer's hat. And he was showing it to him. He's pretty proud of it, which he should be. And I finally said, okay, how are you going to get it out of the basement? He goes, oh, my God, I hadn't thought about that. So I guess when he sold the house, it came with a train set.
Either that or he built a new doorway.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's talk about studies. Everybody loves studies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, you can be born bad at math, Scott.
Yes.
So, wait a second. That doesn't add up.
It's a bad joke.
To check our calculations.
Yeah. I didn't write it, folks.
All right. DNA shows dogs are humans' oldest companions, and somehow they're still not tired of us.
Boy, so true.
That's because they're not very smart.
Easy now.
And now I'm a cat and dog owner. Okay,
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
love animals of all kinds, but I was gonna say this earlier. Of the two, I would definitely rather have my cat in my car than my dog.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm
See,
sorry.
I'm just the opposite.
I'm sorry. Dogs just have this odor that I can't.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want my car to smell like that. I'm sorry. I don't want to smell like that. Like, my husband's like, oh, yeah, let the dog cuddle. I'm like, you put that dog in the bed and you're sleeping outside with the dog.
I have a horrible problem on dating sites with women, and I've talked about this, with women with dogs actually French kissing them, where they're looking at the dog and they got their mouth open and the dog's tongue's in their mouth.
I can't go
and I promptly send them a message that says you should just date your dog.
I would just ask them, like, do you
Kiss your mom?
No, just you know that your dog probably eats things that came out of other dogs, right?
Uh-huh. And sniffs and
right.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on.
Please. All right. Okay.
Researchers, University of Georgia, say that the key to a lasting marriage is gratitude. Yeah. You're so grateful that you don't have to go on any more blind dates.
I would be.
Yeah. With dogs.
That's true. Okay, and I get another study.
Yeah. Yay. You're a smart guy.
I must be a smart guy, yeah. Coffee may help us with a healthy bacteria in our digestive system. Actually, I read this the other day.
Yeah?
Yeah, 5 cups of coffee a day will actually help your diabetes, too.
Okay. 5?
5 cups a day is going to clean out my digestive system.
Okay, well.
Excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Excuse me again. I have to go to the bathroom. I'm just going to stay in there for like an hour.
Broadcasting live from the bathroom.
From the bathroom.
Yeah. If you hear this background noise, that's not thunder. Well, maybe it is thunder.
Right.
Okay, but, the study is suspect because it was conducted by Dr. Maxwell of Folgers Institute for Sanka.
Oh, all right. Let's see. NFL season is here. Amazon delivered my 50-gallon drum of nacho cheese yesterday. That's right. When you come over to my house for the big game, it's nacho cheese. It's mine.
That's right. It's in a big 55-gallon drum with a pump.
You have enough to share.
Yeah.
That's all right. Oh, it's like a keg. You just take your cup up and fill it.
That's right.
All right.
Got to be a red Solo cup, though. Sorry.
So apparently, old German people are pretty feisty, too.
Ooh.
Senior citizen in Germany robbed a bank so that he would no longer have to live with his wife. And this is why most married people take up hobbies.
And build a man cave.
Yeah.
Or a she cave.
Okay, and I've got researchers again. What does this say? Some kind of,
So wise.
Oh, man. Okay. Researchers say one side effect of having COVID for some people is a debilitating, because I had COVID, I can't say that word, brain fog. It's the kind of condition where you have trouble, and then tonight it will be cloudy with a chance of rain and a low of 45.
That all makes sense now.
That makes sense. Yeah.
All right, on to the world of wacky but true. We don't add any jokes. They are self-contained, and I'm sure my co-hosts this morning will both be very, very happy that I got the first one. A nursing home in Taiwan has apologized for hiring a stripper to perform for senior citizens in wheelchairs. Why can't we get strippers for our senior citizens in wheelchairs here?
Because then we'd see you pushing yourself down the road in a wheelchair.
Look how fast Scott can go. Wow. All right, the Taiyuan Veterans Home, a state-run facility for retired Army personnel in Taiwan, paid the adult entertainer for a steamy show to celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival, an important holiday in Chinese culture whereby people gather to celebrate the rice and wheat harvests of the season. Huh.
Okay.
I don't get the correlation.
Yeah, I was going to say, how does that correlate?
The video of the performance, which took place last Thursday, was filmed by an attendee before it was posted to social media and quickly went viral.
I bet.
I want to see it too, just to watch the old guys in the yeah. It doesn't say if there was women there or not. All right, clip shows a masked up dancer clad in lacy lingerie, dancing for the men, and yeah. One man doesn't appear to mind at all. However, he can be seen grabbing the woman's butt. Grandpa. That's funny because I told my kids if they ever put me in old folks home, that's exactly what I'm going to do to get kicked out.
Hold on, I gotta hit this though. It says other nursing home residents clapped along enthusiastically.
Yes, we did.
They're happy about it.
Veterans Home was hit with backlash and subsequently released a statement apologizing for hiring the stripper to entertain residents and make them happy.
You know what? They're old and they're veterans. Leave them alone.
That's right. I did kind of find a sound effect that might work.
You do seem excited, manic. I am verging on ecstatic, psychotic.
All right, back to Michelle.
It's me, all right. Well, this man is not nearly as happy as that man was. A man who got stuck in a chimney while trying to burglarize a London home went to prison. He was arrested after the homeowners found him stuck in their chimney. He allegedly told police he was doing construction on the house and claimed other people were with him. No one else was found, and firefighters had to dismantle the chimney to extract him.
Oh, that's so disappointing because that story had a real Christmassy feel.
Okay, people, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Santa's coming to town. Oh, my God! Santa here? I know him.
All right, for our next story, Mike, I've actually got an intro for you, all right?
Okay.
All right, here it comes.
Good evening. Here is the news for parrots.
Okay, well, we're moving to Australia. Residents in the suburbs of Sydney, Australia, are in the midst of an escalating feud with neighboring population of wild sulfur-crested cockatoos over an unlikely prize, household trash.
Oh.
Ooh, that sounds enticing. While this conflict may sound comical, researchers report that it shows all signs of an innovation arms race, which two species are become trapped in a cycle of behavioral changes as they continually try to one-up or outthink others. Another study. Okay. Oh, the sharp-witted cockatoos have earned the unflattering nickname of trash parrots after learning old Jimmy Buffett fans. Anyway, after learning to open up flip-top garbage bins to get to their contacts. In 2018, videos shared online showed that the resourceful birds grabbing onto the arms of the bin lids with their beaks or feet, shimming down towards the hinge, and eventually flipping the plastic covers entirely off the containers. Boy, these are pretty smart birds. They ought to be engineers. Okay. After watching the footage, researchers investigated the behavior and found that the cockatoos were working out how to open the bins by observing one another, which is known as KCHW 102.7 radio. Okay. All right. I lost my place. Okay. Since then, local residents have deployed numerous countermeasures, including bricks, sticks, logs, and even rubber snakes.
Oh, my gosh.
Ooh, to prevent the cockatoos from inadvertently covering the streets in trash. Not all these countermeasures have proved effective at outwitting the cockatoos, who continue to outsmart the humans and break into bins where they can. As a result, the parrots' persistent residents have had to continually switch tactics and try out new methods of protecting their bins.
Oh.
Interesting.
A little parrot background noise.
Yeah,
there.
that's what I was thinking.
You know, having had large birds before, they are incredibly smart. They really bond to their owners. I was totally impressed how if I worked with I had an Amazon, and if I worked with him on a word for like 3 days, he could say that even if it was a phrase. I taught him to say big green chicken.
Nice.
Which is pretty comical when you have a large green bird. He calls himself a big green chicken.
Green chicken. Yep.
And his name was Mr. Pickles. But I'd say the cognitive abilities of for an Amazon of a 3-year-old, pretty impressive what they can deduce. And they get very territorial. They can even be get upset and be mean and angry. So be
It's
careful.
interesting, like the social learning that they're seeing here with the birds watching each other. It's also called like the 100th monkey syndrome. Have you heard of that? Where they had these specific type of monkeys over in Japan or something, and they would feed the monkeys every day, and then like they would throw the food on the ground and it would get dirty. Well, one of the younger monkeys actually figured out how to wash their food off before eating it, and they learned from this younger monkey. But the weird thing was the same type of monkey in a completely separate location started washing their food off too, and had never had any contact with the first group of monkeys. So it's really an interesting thing in the science
take over the
community.
world.
Right?
Yeah.
All right.
I was going to say something along with that, but I lost it. Oh, well, let's keep moving because we're late. It's back to, I guess, me. Armed man in a rainbow wig.
Somehow that does fit you.
Yes. A man was arrested at a Pennsylvania Dairy Queen after he entered the restaurant with a loaded handgun. Police in Delmont say the man was wearing a yellow safety vest and a rainbow wig. As the man exited the restaurant, officers took him into custody. He told the cops that he was undercover and working to restore Donald Trump to President King of the United States.
Okay.
President King. Which gives me the opportunity to play this.
I suggest you freaks cooperate with the new king of far, far away.
The only thing you're ever going to be king of is king of the stupids.
And we'll keep moving. I think we're back to Michelle.
Yes. A man in Japan has become so obsessed with zombie movies, he moved out of his apartment, learned how to change his appearance with makeup, and moved into a shack in a forest near a park so he could spend as much time as possible scaring hikers, walkers, and other park visitors. At first, the police were concerned about the guy, who is 38 and unmarried, but once they realized he wasn't harming anyone physically, they left him alone. Some visitors to the park now look forward to being frightened by the local zombie.
I had visions of Scott for some reason.
You know, he should be careful, though, because anyone that's ever watched zombie movies, like if he comes across the wrong person and like really scares them, we all know there's only one way to kill a zombie. Like that guy is losing his head.
Right.
Yes. That's why I had the sound effect already.
New word from the nation's top scientists on the zombie virus that appeared 2 weeks ago. They released information saying that...
Oh. That you can only kill him by shooting him in the head, I guess. It got cut off.
Oh, I was going to say, was that a fill in the blank?
It didn't work out so well at all. All right. Last story, Mr. Bentz.
Oh, yeah, I get to talk about toddlers.
Yay.
The engaged mom and her fiance relearned this lesson the hard way when her toddler daughter accidentally dropped the engagement ring into the ocean during what the boyfriend thought would be the perfect proposal. Yeah, the moment was captured on video, which shows the boyfriend, Luke, bending down on one knee with a 2-year-old harpy in tow. Okay, well, Luke's plan was for Harpy to open the box to present the mother with the ring, but either from the force of her opening the box or her decision to grab it caused the ring to pop out of the box. It bounced around before falling through the slats on the dock, and the ring fell down. Stephanie's father... Okay, now who's Stephanie?
The woman.
The woman? Okay. Immediately bent down to see if he could locate it. Thankfully, he was able to spot it and go retrieve it.
Oh, very good.
Okay.
Wow, lost your wedding ring on the proposal. This is what he did. All right. That's all I got.
Maybe it's a sign.
Yeah, I never let it get that far. I usually throw out something like this.
But what of the things that we've shared? What of all the sweet words that you spoke in private?
Oh, well, that's just what we call pillow talk, baby. That's all.
Nothing real. All right. Thank you guys so much for showing up today. All the information you shared with us during the first half.
Great job, team. Head back to base for debriefing and cocktails.
I know you guys would be okay with that, too. Thanks for tuning in. Tomorrow, it is Three Amigos Thursday. It gets even sillier, if you can believe that. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to keep on listening. It's Northern Lights Public Radio. We are KCHW 102.7. Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Michelle.
You bet. Okay, see you in a week.